Hi friends, I'm Emily Lay and you're listening to the Simplified podcast. If you're looking for a soft place to land as you try and filter out the noise and hustle of it all, this is it. You are in the right place. Every week, I pop into your ears and invite you to slow down for just a few minutes, to take a breath, and join me to explore practical ways to simplify, organize, and automate the complicated parts of life so you can focus on what truly matters most. Y'all, I cannot believe we're counting down the days until summer break is here. Listen, if you're thinking about what to get teachers in your life for a little teacher appreciation gift, don't sweat it. I've got some ideas for you. I like to say thank you to my kids' teachers with some beautiful office supplies. They're like jewelry for her desk. At Simplified, we've got all kinds of beautiful gingham pens and pineapple paper clips and notepads and notebooks and art prints, all kinds of things to make her workspace joyful. Maybe pair a couple of those office supplies with a Starbucks gift card, and there, you've got yourself a great little gift. You can find all these accessories and so much more for teachers and graduates, or whoever you're celebrating this season, at emilylay.com. My 6-year-old daughter, Caroline, has been going through a fun new phase lately. She wakes up at 4 in the morning and wakes me up. The reasons vary from "Mommy, I had a nightmare" to "Mommy, I need some water," but I've tried very, very hard to tell Caroline, "Mommy needs to sleep and you do too. I'll see you in the morning." And the next day, she's up and at 'em like she got a full night's sleep. Meanwhile, I have coffee on an IV drip and I still find myself falling asleep in Zoom meetings. My brain is cloudy, I can't focus, I find it so hard to make decisions. That kid of mine, I love her, but I will not be sad when this phase is over. You probably pulled all-nighters in college. I bet you've burned the midnight oil to meet a deadline at work, or you found yourself comforting your own 6-year-old at 4 in the morning. Whatever your life is, I bet you've been where I am now. You know what it feels like when you don't give your body the rest that it needs. It feels, well, awful. Pretty much like you could be a zombie in The Walking Dead. It doesn't have to be this way, you guys. With that in mind, I've decided I want to dedicate some of this podcast to a series of episodes that I'm calling Simplified Soul Care. Because one of the many things I've discovered about myself over this past year is that my soul needs to be looked after. She needs joy and love and play and adventure, and she needs rest. Seriously, I think more than anything, she needs someone to come along and say, "You've done your work, and now it's time to rest." So here's how this is going to go. From time to time, I'm going to pop into your feed and talk about different ways we can care for our souls. Because honestly, sometimes it's hard to remember that I have one. Sometimes I have to be intentional and remind myself that my job isn't just to be Caroline and Tyler and Brady's mom, or Brian's wife, or a team leader. First and foremost, my job is to take care of Emily. Because when Emily is taken care of, well, then she can care for her people. All right, let's talk about sleep. You may ask yourself why we even sleep in the first place. I mean, I know I feel so much better after a good night of sleep, but I was never really sure about the science behind it. When you were growing up and found yourself upset over something, maybe your mom told you it'll all be better in the morning, and she was right. So why was she right? What's going on in our brains and our bodies when we go to sleep every night? You guys know I love a good book, and if you're curious about sleep, then you should check out this book called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. Matthew works at UC Berkeley, and he's the director of the Center for Human Sleep Science there. And trust me, he really knows what he's talking about. Matthew says that when you go to sleep, your body begins to produce these baths of neurochemicals that literally clean up your brain. And this brain cleanup helps your body out in all kinds of ways. It beefs up your immune system, prevents infections. It helps your body keep your cells from turning into malignant cancers. Basically, this brain cleanup that happens when you get plenty of sleep, it helps you fight off all kinds of different sicknesses. And P.S., if you've ever finished a grueling project and found yourself sick at the end of it, this is why. And sleep doesn't just help your body stay healthy. It also keeps you functioning at a high level during the day. Because get this, sleep increases your ability to learn. It increases how well you're able to memorize things and make logical decisions. Sleep also sets your emotions back to neutral. It gives your metabolism a tune-up and curbs your appetite. And then there's dreaming. When you dream, your brain is storing knowledge and memories that matter to you. Basically, you're a more well-adjusted and healthier person when you sleep. I could go into a whole thing about why we don't get enough sleep. Honestly, there are so many reasons why we don't. But I think the number one reason is because we live in a world that doesn't prioritize our rest. We live in a world that pushes us to do more and be more and produce more and consume more. It's a huge act of resistance to say no. I mean, I can think of some times where I've said yes to something I didn't really want to because I was too terrified of what would happen if I said no. But seriously, sleep is a place that needs your non-negotiable boundaries. We're all in different seasons where we have different access to rest. Trust me, I'm thinking about you, mamas of new babies. You are exempt from this conversation, but I think you still might find some of it helpful. Okay, think with me for a second. Didn't your mom have a bedtime routine for you growing up that helped you wind down and get ready for sleep? If you have kids, do your little ones have a bedtime routine of their own? There is a reason for that. Getting ready to go to sleep is kind of like flying an airplane. The descent needs to be gradual. That's what bedtime routines do for us. They help us wind down after a long day and tell our bodies it's time for rest. So think with me for a minute, and let's talk about how to cultivate a bedtime routine just for grown-ups. Number 1, turn off your devices. Okay, this isn't me trying to guilt you about using less technology. There's actual science behind this. Your phone and your iPad and your laptop all emit blue light, which actually stops your body from producing melatonin. Melatonin is the hormone that adjusts your sleep cycle. Your body actually begins to release it when it gets dark. So when your melatonin production stops, that's when it's hard for you to fall asleep and harder to wake up. Not good. Also, let's be real. You might get fired up about a work email or a social media post that can absolutely wait until tomorrow. So that's a real benefit of putting work boundaries in place and putting your device away at night. But if you're a little anxious about turning off your phone because you need to be reachable by family members, I really get it. Just put it in do not disturb mode so you're not bothered by unnecessary notifications. Their phone calls, if they are marked as favorites in your iPhone, will still come through. Number 2, turn the lights down. Grab a warm beverage and get relaxed while being still. Seriously, I can't tell you how much settling in for the night will help your body and brain relax. If you live alone, you might find this easier than if you live in a house full of kids. Either way, once the day winds down and all the little people are put to bed, if that applies to you, try to set yourself up for some evening comfort. Dim the lights, make a cup of mint tea, pull a throw blanket over your lap, and grab your favorite thriller novel. Okay, maybe not too scary of a thriller novel. This gives your body a cue that says, hey, time to slow down. And your body will listen. Trust me. And hey, it doesn't have to be a book. You could put on a quiet acoustic album or an interesting podcast, whatever you find relaxing that helps you settle down and keeps you still for a bit. Do that thing. Number 3, take some melatonin or CBD if that's your thing. There is no shame in the supplements game. Seriously, if you need a sleep aid, there are many natural options for you. Bonus points if they're gummies because, hi, I'm 38 and gummies are still my favorite. Number 4, get into your PJs. Nothing says bedtime like slipping into your favorite comfy pajamas. My absolute favorite comfy pajamas right now are lake pajamas, and I love their nightgowns. They are just so soft and so comfortable, and I swear they get softer every time you wash them. Number 5, brush your teeth, take your contacts out, and go through your skincare routine. Okay, you knew this was coming. Go do all your get ready for bed stuff in front of your bathroom mirror. And P.S., if you need a good skincare routine, I've got a checklist on my blog. If you want me to do a whole other episode on skincare routines, leave me a review and let me know what your questions are. I want to know what you guys want to hear about. Number 6, turn the temperature down. Fun fact, your body temperature needs to go down about 2 to 3 degrees when you sleep. So if you can, program your thermostat to go down a couple hours before bed. Some people say to turn it down as low as 65 degrees. Well, that might be a little too cold for some of you, which I get. Just make sure you're turning down the temperature a little bit so you can fall asleep and stay asleep more easily. Number 7, hop into bed and turn on your fan or your favorite sleep app or both. Honestly, when you slip into a crisp set of sheets that smell like your favorite fabric softener, this is the best part of the day. Can I get an amen? Before I hop into bed, I always make sure I turn on the fan. I love the white noise, and I have since I was a little kid. If you're not a fan of fans, or you need a little extra white noise, you can turn on the Calm app, or get a free app called Rainy Mood, and adjust the settings to your liking. This noise helps me fall asleep and keeps me asleep. Don't talk to me about when the electricity goes out and my fan goes off. That's a whole thing. And if you don't want to keep your phone in your room, no problem. That's actually a great idea for your sleep hygiene. You could get a clock like the Hatch Restorer. That clock is super cool because it has sounds built in, along with a wonderful, gentle alarm that has light that mimics a sunrise when you wake up. It's genius. And if you still need some help to get a little sleepier, try reading a book. I don't know why, but this always feels super indulgent at the end of a long day. It feels like time is slowed down for me just a little bit, and it's one of my favorite moments. Number 8, sleep for at least 7 hours. It's true. Your body actually needs at least 7 hours of sleep, at least. Anything 6 or less is actually impairing the way your body functions. And if you tried all these tips and you still can't get to sleep, I wonder if it's time to talk to your healthcare provider about ways to get you to sleep. I want your body to get the rest it deserves. Let's give it its best chance. I know we all love a good night's sleep, maybe more now than when we were teenagers, to be honest. Your body deserves the rest that sleep can bring, and I hope that's something you make time for. Wherever you are right now, I'd like to pray a little blessing over you as you try to make rest a more intentional part of your life. May you remember that you are worthy of being taken care of, and that the best person to care for you is you. May you find the rest your soul is craving, and begin to carve a space of rest for yourself each night. And as your head hits the pillow and you drift off to dreams, may you know that you are so loved just because of who you are. As always, I like to leave a little actionable step for you at the end of each episode so that you can carry a new idea into your week. And today, your task is this. Do you have trouble staying asleep? Do you look at the clock and think, I only have an hour and a half left, I better make it count? Listen, I have been there. If you wake up in the middle of the night, there's a couple things you can do to fall back asleep. First, try going to another room, putting on a very dim light, and read an actual book. No screens here. If you lay awake in your room, your body will begin to think, oh, the bed is where I'm supposed to be awake, and we can't have that. Or if you don't want to get out of bed, that's totally fine. Pop in your AirPods and turn on a quiet meditation on YouTube, or try the Calm app. You'll be surprised how easily you fall asleep when someone is gently guiding you toward a calm space. Thank you for listening to the Simplified podcast. I hope today's episode left you feeling like you can make space for the rest your soul is craving. And for more simplicity tips, you can find me on Instagram at Emily Lay and at Simplified, as well as at emilylay.com, where you can find show notes from each episode along with links and resources I mentioned here. And you can shop the Simplified brand of planners and products. If you like what you heard on the show today, then you are going to love my brand new book, Growing Boldly, Dare to Build a Life You Love, which is in stores right now wherever you buy books. And if you're loving this show, I hope you'll hop over to Apple Podcasts And show some love by subscribing, rating, and even leaving a review there so others can find out about our little show. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.